Okay. Hello. Are we going? Is it happening? I don't know. I never know. Well, it's looking. Yes, yes. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. It is I, your host, Pogokero, with yet another amazing kind of routine episode of Redstone Lapis Lazuli. It is I, your host. Hello. Yay. So I cut my hair, right? Which means um, I have to like style it, and I don't want to. Hence the beanie. Mm. I also found out that some of my audience is hearing impaired, and they found that the background music that I play makes it more difficult for them to understand what I'm saying. So this way, I hope without the music, it will be make the program more accessible to a wider audience. Um, okay. It also might help YouTube with its automatic captioning because I think that's great. All right. So, uh, I haven't built anything. I haven't really played Minecraft at all. Why haven't you played Minecraft? Because they're going to update this game. They're going to add a thing, or they're gonna change the world. They're gonna make the world go deeper and higher, and they're gonna add some. Uh, they're gonna add some what's it called? Some mountains. So like right now they have mountains, but the mountains really aren't mountains. Like just like there's deep, but it's not really that deep. so so Minecraft is gonna change the way all this happens. But but the problem is that um, in the chunk, so everything's divided in chunks. F3, GF3. See, everything's in chunks. All the world's in chunks, and every chunk is 16 squares. And any chunk that has been loaded, like okay, so in Minecraft, technically the world is infinite. You can go forever, and the world will constantly just generate new chunks. But once a chunk has been generated, it will never change again. It is done. It is finished. It is loaded. It will never be unloaded and then reloaded again. So if Minecraft creates new things like deeper caves or higher mountains or like new biomes, if you have a loaded chunk, that chunk will never ever change. You will never see the new stuff um, um, in the loaded chunk. It only happens in new chunks. So what I'm gonna do is, because I built everything on a tiny little island, I'm gonna I'm just gonna trim the chunks all around my island and delete the whole world, everything around my island, so that the only thing that exists is my island again, and that way I can regenerate brand new chunks all around me. So yeah, that'd be good. But that means like the wall is gonna be like right here, and then yeah, this is gonna get chopped off. I have to like save this somehow. This corner, I have to save this. The southeastern corner, I have to save it. But yeah, because all these chunks are gonna get regenerated, I have no desire to build, because anything I do to the world is gonna get destroyed anyways when I when they release the update, which happens in like what, a couple months, 3 months maybe. So yeah, I'm gonna save the gold farm. I'm gonna save the guardian farm. I'm not gonna save the train line. So I have to make it. I'm gonna have to make new train lines because I'm not saving the train lines. But that's okay, because another new thing they're gonna do with this new update is that they're gonna make it so that your carts can go underwater. That's so awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait to make farms underwater. Because yeah, you can do that. You can't use redstone, right? Redstone, you can't waterlog redstone. Redstone will dissipate under the water. But you can use repeaters and blocks, I'm pretty sure. Well, I don't know if you can do repeaters, but you can. There's other ways of transmitting a redstone signal that doesn't require redstone. So I can make redstone machines and farms underwater with the rail lines, and like that's exciting. That's cool. I can't wait. And I also want to see the new mountains because what I want to do is I'll pretty much just make a brand new base somewhere else once the new world generates, and I'll leave this base as like the base where I can come back and get supplies. But like, yeah, I'm pretty much just gonna go into a new part of the world and make a new base. So yeah, I mean, this island is packed. I can't fit anything else on it. It's done. It's finished. Like I need to start a new place, and I can't dig down anymore here. Like this is as deep as it goes here. But once the new world generates, this will be a little island of bedrock, and everything outside of it, will drop off another deep, pretty deep. So, like this will be like base camp, and I can go deeper for deeper stuff. Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait for this new update. Like, just for the bigger biome or the bigger caves, the better cave generation, and the mountains. Oh man, the mountains! I can imagine making train lines up the mountains. Like, it just seems like it would be fun. I did it once already in a Java world, and that's the other thing. Will I have to switch to Bedrock? Because if I want those really big vistas, to be able to see, to extend my view, I don't know if I can do it in Java. I can do it easily in Bedrock, but I don't know if I can do it in Java to really get to really appreciate the views of the mountains. I don't think Java will let me um, expand my view big enough because of performance. All right. Well then, not much to talk about here, right? I don't have a whole lot. And I don't have a whole lot in general. I have one story to tell, just one story. So yesterday, in my little neighborhood, there's a food truck court where there's a bunch of food trucks that you can go and buy food. And I thought, hey, why don't I try that out? Why don't I try out the food truck court? Cool. All right. So I head down there, and I go to the Osaka place. Osaka des. Yes. Okay. And and I just ordered food. I ordered what would they call it? I forgot the name of it. It was like the saki subiyaki? No. Subiyaki steak, because I haven't had steak in forever. So I was like, oh, that was tasty. Um, yeah, it was good. It was good. And like I'm like, oh, it was pretty neat. They had like little dining area. It's all outdoors, right? None of this is indoors. It's all outdoors. Food trucks, and they have like an outdoor dining area with like heat lamps because it's cold. It's March. It's still cold. It just turned spring, and spring is cold. The early part of spring. Um, yeah, and so I'm standing there, and then after I ordered my food, it's gonna be like a 5-10 minute wait, right? So I'm walking up and down to look at the other choices just to look, and this older woman, is sitting there, and she follows me and takes a picture of me. I'm like, what? I'm not famous. What are you doing? Just following me and taking a picture of me? I'm like, okay, whatever. And then so I go stand by like a closed food truck to stay out of the wind, and I'm on my phone, on my Twitter, just doing my thing. And then that same woman comes by with another man, and they talk real loud. They talk really loudly at me, but not about me. I don't think it's about me because they were using another gender, and the details weren't exactly accurate. But I don't understand why this woman took a picture of me and then 5 minutes later showed up with another guy, and they both stood across from me talking at me. Like, were they talking about me? Because if they were, I would talk to them. Sure, dude, let's go talk. Don't talk around me if you're gonna talk about me. I'm right here. Let's have a conversation. Jeez. So is that what it's about? Is that what it's like? I guess. I don't know. Yeah, if I'm there and you want to like learn something about me, come talk to me. Signal me, let me know, right? Yeah, because I'm all about illuminating the truth, and the way we do that is together. Let's help each other out. So, as part of my duty to illuminate the truth, I just want to make a little note here. Yeah, there we go. So let's look at how, like in Oregon, Oregon's great. I love Oregon. Oregon's fantastic. But Oregon, right, we have legal marijuana. We're one of the first states to do it, and it's fantastic. They haven't done it yet on the federal level, and they need to, because look at this nonsense. We have here the arrest rates. Let me shrink me for a bit. The arrest rates for marijuana possession by race, and black is in the black and white is in the pink. You'll see here black is at what, 4-5 times higher the rate than white to be arrested for marijuana. Right. This is just by uniform, FBI crime reporting. So, and this is what, 2001 to 2010. So it's not super recent, but like it's pretty recent. And it shows you the trend of the point of marijuana prohibition. It was to incarcerate black people, black Americans. Because even though black Americans are a fraction of the percentage of the population of white Americans, they get arrested at like 3, 4, 5 times the rate. Now here's that same time period, 2001 to 2010, and here's marijuana use by race. And you look by race, it's about the same. Both races around this time used marijuana at the same rate. But for some reason, black people were arrested at 5 times the rate, even though they're only like 1/5 the population. So what's up with that, right? Oh, I didn't keep it on my, here, I'm going to go grab it real quick. It's on here somewhere on my desktop, but I've got like a million billion pictures. Oh, here we go. This picture here is adult incarceration rate per 100,000 people. And you'll see by this chart, there's a high concentration of people arrested in the formerly Confederate states. A lot of people in prison. A lot of those people are incarcerated for marijuana. A lot of those people are black. And it's not because black people use marijuana at a higher rate than whites. It's something else. This way. Where am I going? So I didn't like the way it defaulted to white. So I switched it back to like the brown thing. So yeah, it's a brown light now, and that's all right. Brown light. But I dig it, right? The default, yeah, the default should be white, not or should be brown, not white. But that's in my head, right? That's in my head. In my head, for me, in my head, default is white, and I can't help it. I need to change that because that's not right. But yeah, in my head, default is white. Okay. Oh yeah, I was going to show you the other thing. My own profile. That was the one. Here, I can grab it right here. So we know that black people are getting arrested and incarcerated at a higher rate than white people. But let's look down at the breakdown of marijuana business owners by founders and by race, because we know black people are bearing the brunt of marijuana prohibition. They get arrested at a far higher rate. They're incarcerated. And under the 14th Amendment, slavery is prohibited except for incarceration as punishment for a crime. So if you make it a crime to use marijuana while black, then you suddenly have a bunch of legal slaves. Because look, right, and I'm not just making this up, because when we legalize marijuana, when marijuana is legal, all of a sudden, white people have the huge majority of the businesses of legal marijuana. They don't get arrested for it. They don't go to prison for it, but they own the vast majority of the businesses that sell legal marijuana. Like, how is that right? It's not. It's broken. It is an example of institutional racism. No one's coming out here saying N-word, N-word, N-word. No one's doing that. It's just built into the system. It's built in. It's built in. It's a racist system. It's built in. It says N-word just by being there. Just by being there, it's an abomination. Because yeah, what we have is legal slavery. Like, what do you think private prisons are? Step one, arrest black people for a harmless, like, victimless crime. Step two, create private prisons that are funded by taxpayers. Step three, force these incarcerated black Americans to go to private prisons and work under slave conditions, subsidized by American taxpayers. Step four, profit. You transform public money into private gain through the exploitation of black Americans, just like the Confederacy wanted. Oh my goodness. Like, yeah, I studied marijuana prohibition for a long time. And let me tell you why, right? Let me give you the personal reason why I'm very pro cannabis. Let me tell you why. Because about almost killed myself. Because as you know, or as you may not know, I was involved in a very serious car accident when I was in my youth. It nearly killed me. Really messed up my head. I had a TBI. I was in a coma for a week. It was pretty bad. And I was very, very, very hardcore atheist. Very hardcore atheist. Very empirical, very positivistic thinking. And not positivism, not positive thinking like it's all gonna be okay. No, positivism. Positivism is the sociological framework that everything has a function, that there's a function to it. And when something doesn't work, then it's dysfunctional. So in a way, it's a conservative way of thinking, because positivism says that naturally everything's in equilibrium. So there's naturally a healthy level of unemployment, and there's a healthy level of poverty. There's naturally a healthy level of exploitation. Like, and when there's too much of it, it becomes dysfunctional, and then you have to fix it. But positivism says, but those things serve a function. So they're there for a reason. They're not just there, but they're for a reason. All right. Now, okay, I wouldn't say that I was a positivist. I was more like empiricalist. I was very, very much into the five senses, and that was it. Like, all that spiritual mumbo jumbo, I didn't care for it at all. And then in college, I discovered, well, not in college, in France, I discovered cannabis. And it wasn't until I had a spiritual awakening with cannabis that I understood things. I achieved a different perspective, which altered everything for me. So yeah, I because of this, I'm like, why is this plant have such harsh repercussions for using it? Why? And so I studied it, and yeah, it has racist roots. It has absolutely racist roots. And it's been well documented. Biden administration told his staff that, oh, it's okay to disclose past marijuana use. So his staff is like, all right, I can have integrity. I can speak the truth now. And they disclosed their past marijuana use. What did Biden do? He fired them. What a jerk. That's a boomer move. That's an old person move. I'm going to be old, right? One day, if I'm lucky, I too will be old. So I have to watch out about how I talk about boomers, because one day I'm going to be like a boomer. Well, not like a boomer, I hope, but like the same age as a boomer. I hope to be like, I hope the future is not going to look back on Gen X and be like, whoa, those people. No, please don't. We tried. We were caught up in it just as much as you guys were. See, I don't want to lose this gold farm. I think this is great. Transform the bad into good. But yeah, but Biden fired some of his staff because they disclosed that they used marijuana in the past. So he basically he did a bait and switch. He baited them out and then switched it on them. That's cold-blooded, dude. That's cold-blooded, Biden. Which is why he wasn't my third or fourth choice. Yeah. What other awesome slides do I have? Yeah. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Oh no, I don't want to talk about the moose ticks. Oh, I do want to talk about the moose ticks. All right. So, do you see all these little tiny structural ways that white supremacy sucks the life out of the black community to feed itself? Do you see it? Here, I want to show you what that's like. All right. We have something called climate change. And what climate change does is it makes the winters warmer than they used to be. When the winters are warmer than they used to be, places like up in Maine, where they have moose, because the winters are so warm, the moose ticks don't die. So the moose ticks persist. They live. And then what happens is they attack, they live. They attack the adult moose. But what's worse is they attack the baby moose. And this is what moose ticks look like. You see those things right there? Those are little animals buried into his ear, sucking his blood. Those are ticks. And I have other pictures, but I don't want to show you because it's really gross. It will gross you out. It's gross. It's gross. But that is essentially what white supremacy does to the black community. White supremacy is a bunch of ticks on the black community. That all they do is they suck the life out of the black community through a million different little ways, so that the black community can't get stronger. They can't grow because they're constantly getting their life sucked out of them through mass incarceration, through police killing, police brutality, through structural racism like redlining, through the black hole of poverty, because poverty in itself will suck you into itself. Poverty is like a drain. It will suck you in. You have to work hard. Like, yeah, the closer you are to absolute poverty, the harder you have to swim to stay out of it. That's why people who are out in the middle class, who are like way out, away from the center of the gyre, they can like chill. They're just like chilling, floating, right? Because they're just cruising along. But if you're poor, living paycheck to paycheck, barely, you're like hustling every day. Because if you stop, you're gonna get sucked under. You're gonna get sucked into the whirlpool and sucked under. Yeah, people don't get it. Middle class people don't get how hard it is to be poor. Because a million little things start taking advantage of you, and you can't get rid of them when you're poor. A million little things that don't bother you when you're middle class, or when you're white and privileged. Oh, monarch butterflies. So when I was a kid, I remember being in Head Start. In the 1980s, there were this many butterflies to now there's only this many butterflies. I was alive in the 1980s. I remember being in Head Start in California, and there was a big tree outside, and there were big caterpillars on this tree. And it was gross because I was a little kid, so like, caterpillars, gross, ew, scary. And yeah, there were monarch butterflies all over the place. I remember as a kid in Southern California seeing monarch butterflies all over the place. I don't see them at all anymore. Maybe once. I'll see one. I saw one like last year. Dude, we're wrecking this place bad. Thinking back to when Katrina happened and Cuba and Venezuela offered to send aid and the U.S. rejected it and sent the National Guard to shoot poor black people in New Orleans trying to survive and demonize them as looters in the media. Ouch. Ouch. Yep. Okay, what's this one? President Joe Biden's call for a return to the old school Senate filibuster is elating activists who want to gut the impediment to majority rule. Yet the movement to scrap the chamber's 60-vote requirement is way ahead of Democrats' whip count. Really? Yeah, well, it's not way ahead. Everyone just talks smack. There's only two people. So Feinstein is undecided but has concerns about what would happen when Republicans eventually take back control. We know what would happen. Nothing. Look what happened last time. They didn't do anything. They passed a big tax cut through reconciliation, and then they sat there and did nothing the entire time. So yeah, there's only two people that you have to worry about, and that's Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. Kyrsten Sinema is pretty much a Republican. I don't know. I mean, so far they've gotten stuff passed, but Kyrsten Sinema really wants to include Nazis, and so I don't know if she might destroy the Democrats to keep the Nazis. That's what we're looking at right now. All of Joe Biden's agenda is being held hostage by Kristen Sinema, because Kristen Sinema insists on getting the Nazis in on stuff. She was like, if we can't have Nazis, come on, dude. Ah. So that's where we're at right now. We can't really go anywhere until the filibuster is fixed. Nothing will get done until the filibuster is fixed. The House is pumping out bills left and right, but the Senate, because of Kristen Sinema, who's I guess the new leader, nothing will get done until she decides it's ready. She's ready. It's all on her. It's all on her and Joe Manchin. Even Joe Manchin is changing. He's all like talking filibuster. That wastes time, but sure, whatever, dude. Lauren Boebert, right? She's the traitor. So Lauren Boebert is siding with Vladimir Putin and China. So she is angry. Lauren Boebert is sad because people like Vladimir Putin and China don't like Biden. Vladimir Putin liked Trump, and so she's happy that dictators like Trump, but she's sad that dictators don't like Biden. That's because she's a Confederate traitor. Remember? She's trying to overthrow the government. She's a traitor. So the IRS revenue agents cut. In 2010, we had 14,000. In 2020, we had only 8,000. What does that mean? That means we have less people to audit the rich, which means they don't audit the rich. Which, if you don't audit, but where does most of the tax money come from? The rich. So if you don't audit the rich, then the rich can cheat on their taxes because they have an incentive to cheat. And that means the government doesn't get funded. When the government doesn't get funded, it has to borrow money. When you have to borrow money, that increases the deficit. So if you want to decrease the deficit in the United States, increase funding for IRS so they can audit rich people. You notice here, the millionaires who filed, the millionaires who get audited, right? People who get audited, as the number of agents in the IRS goes down, the number of millionaires who are audited goes down. So less millionaire or less IRS agents, less auditing of millionaires. Less auditing of businesses too. Corporations are not audited as much because, right, there's not as many agents. So that means the United States government is not getting the tax money it needs. And when that happens, hold on, what am I looking for? I don't have it. Okay. Well, most of the taxes that are owed to the IRS, I think Bernie Sanders said 70% of the taxes owed to the IRS come from rich people, from the millionaires. So by defunding the IRS, Trump essentially stopped taxing the rich. And defunds the American government. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Most police killings began when police responded to mental health crises, traffic violations, domestic disturbances, or other non-violent offenses. So yeah, you combine this, and this. All this is bigger than this. Is what it's saying, right? You take that, and that. You combine all this. All these non-violent things where police killed people are bigger than the times when police killed people for violent crimes. Police kill people for non-violent crimes. That's what we've been saying. Look at the United States compared to every other country. All right, Norway, Iceland, Japan, England, Wales, Germany, New Zealand, Netherlands, Australia. Yeah, when you get up here to the up here, it starts. Yeah, these are the old world, and this is the new world. And when you get to the United States, it just gets stupid. Do you see that? We are dumb. Police kill people in the United States way more than they kill people anywhere else. Same one, right? Same thing. Police kill way more people in the United States than they do anywhere else. So Kremlin-controlled Russia state media keeps demanding that President Biden debate Putin. Except now that they're describing it as a duel. Okay, you know why? Because Biden told the truth. Biden said that Vladimir Putin is a killer, which is true, right? We all know Vladimir Putin kills his opponents. Vladimir Putin is a criminal. He's not a mastermind. He's not like a great leader. Vladimir Putin is just a common criminal. He's no more than a thief. He's no better than a thief. But the media, the Russian media, keeps trying to play up a Biden-Putin debate. But when has two state leaders ever debated one another? That sounds like right-wing, like Twitter nonsense. I want to debate you. I want to debate you. Free speech. I want to debate you. That's stupid. Like, you can't debate those people. He's a dictator. Like, here. You want to debate? Right here. Here's how you do it. Here's how you do it, right? If Putin wants to have a debate, this is the way you do it. This guy right here, his name is Alexei Navalny, right? This guy is the president of Belarus. Belarus is a country right next to Russia. Belarus had an election, and he won the election. But Russia didn't like that. Putin didn't like that. So Putin sent his thugs to kidnap, to poison, to try to kill him. They tried to kill Navalny, and he didn't die. Instead, he went to Germany, and he got treatment, and he lived. And then so Navalny, the president of Belarus, flew back to Russia to go back to Belarus. But when he landed in Russia, Vladimir Putin arrested him and put him in prison. For what? For nothing. For nothing. So here's how we need to have a debate. Vladimir Putin needs to debate the president of Belarus. And they need to talk about why this common criminal, the stupid criminal here, why did this criminal arrest Navalny? Why? That's the debate we want to have. Let's have that debate. Come on. Are you afraid, Putin? What's wrong? Are you afraid? What's wrong, Putin? Well, Biden has nothing to do with you. Your beef is with Navalny. Come on, dude. Let's have that debate. I want to see that debate. Let's have that debate. Oh gosh, I would pay money for that debate. I would pay money to watch that debate. That's what I want to see. have to remember the Nazis here in the United States, the white supremacists, are allied with Putin. They're allied with the same bad people. They're all on the same team. Let's see. I had another one. Here we go. So, in this picture, you see a Ukraine under Russia is the same as Ukraine under Nazi Germany, under Nazism. A Ukraine under Putin's control is the same as a Ukraine under Nazi. So Putin is the same as Nazis. Putin Nazi, same thing. Putin is a Nazi, same thing. Same thing. Putin is no more than a common thief. He's not smart. He's not strong. He's not powerful. He's a criminal. He can never retire because the moment Putin steps down, he's going to die. Mob bosses don't retire. They die. That's all we're waiting for. We're just waiting for Putin to slip, and then he's going to die. He's a scared little man. He's afraid. He can't even debate Alexei Navalny. He's so afraid that Putin. Like, yeah, there's a lot of people who don't like you, Putin. There's a lot of people because you're a killer. You made a lot of enemies, Putin. You made a lot of enemies. Oh, boy. Yeah, you don't need to worry about Biden. You need to think about Alexei Navalny. You need to think about all the Russians who hate you, Putin. All those Russians who despise you. Like, how long can you hold on to power, Putin? How long can you do it? Are you feeling kind of old? I notice you don't take any more pictures with your shirt off. I notice you don't go running through the forest with your gun anymore. Why is that? Are you getting old, Putin? Are you getting a little flabby? Are you getting a little weak? Are the younger Russians around you looking at you like you may not be the right guy anymore? Yeah, when you live your life by rule of power, it's terrifying. You will never know peace when you live your life by rule of power. Peace comes from justice, and rule of power has nothing to do with justice. So it has nothing to do with peace. So you will never be at peace. Putin will always be looking over his shoulder until the moment where a dagger gets stuck into it. Because he will never ever get to retire peacefully. He will never know peace. That's why he's trying to start beef with Biden, when his real beef is with Alexei Navalny. And everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. That's the debate we want to see. But he's trying to deflect, because that's what Nazis do. They deflect. Biden defines what $400,000 a year as wealthy. So $400,000 a year is key points. Democratic president candidate Joe Biden, candidate. This is during the debate. So this is back in, when was this? October 6th, 2020. So, all right. So when he was a candidate, he said his tax hike would only affect the wealthy. He defines wealthy as more than $400,000 a year. By national measures, those making $400,000 belong to a rarefied group. They would represent top 1.8% of taxpayers, earning about 25% of the nation's income. So, but according to a financial planning analysis, families making $400,000 a year aren't exactly living large. So what this is saying is that we need more tax brackets. We need additional tax brackets above 400,000. We need that 250, 400, 600, 800, a million, and then additional tax brackets is what he's saying. I agree. I think we need additional tax brackets. That will help generate more income. Yeah, police killings. Black people were more likely to be killed by police and more likely to be unarmed when killed. Black people are 13% of the population, but 27% of the killings of the whole thing. That's institutionalized racism. Arrests for marijuana. If you're black, you're way more likely to be arrested for marijuana than if you're white. But who owns all the businesses? The white people. So what's the solution to that? Poverty. I mean, address poverty was one way. Address structural poverty, not just poverty, but structural poverty. Because poverty is a black hole. The closer you are to absolute poverty, the harder it is to get out, and the more it sucks you back in. Oh, this is a lot harder to do without any music. It's like every dead time is like dead. All right, what else do I got here? I got nothing else. I didn't really bring a whole lot to talk about this week. So, all right, guys, we're gonna see what happens with the Democrats to see where they go with that. If they can, because nothing can get done as long as that filibuster is there. So when we get rid of that filibuster, then we'll see the true intention of the Democrats. All right, until next time, America, hang in there. All right, peace.